All right, so today we are going to be looking at how lines can make shapes and then how we can make beautiful forms or beautiful places like castles or cityscapes or carnivals, kind of like what we were looking at in the imagery or in the photos that I showed you. We are going to be looking at how lines make shapes, and we're going to be making shapes out of paper scraps today. There are a couple of ways that you can go about this, so I'm going to show you how to do that. First, what you can do is, using your scissors, is you can cut out your shape if you're pretty confident in how to cut out that shape. So I'm going to cut out a rectangle. Circles are harder to do, but if you're pretty confident that you know how to cut a circle, you can go ahead and do that. Another way that you can go about creating your shape is if you draw your shape first. So using a pencil, I'm going to draw a triangle on here. Notice how I drew this triangle kind of towards the edge of my paper. I don't want to draw it in the middle of my paper because then it would waste all of the extra paper I have going on out here. And instead, I could use this bigger area to maybe do another big circle, or maybe I want to do a big square there. So make sure that you're starting with the outside of your paper first and then going towards the center to cut out shapes. So I have my triangle here. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this shape out. And actually, I might have even gotten 2 triangles out of that. And then lastly, another way that you can create your shapes, especially you may want to do this for the circles. It's easier to trace a circular item than it is to try to cut one out. What I have here is a square because I want to make a perfect square. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trace this square here. You can kind of see that on my paper. I can make those lines darker by putting my square back there. Notice I'm holding the shape down. Okay, you really want to hold that shape down, putting a lot of pressure on it so it doesn't move when you're tracing. And now I'll cut that out. So these are just a few basic shapes that you could cut and a couple of different ways you can go about cutting shapes. However, we will have a lot of these different types of forms for you to trace, and you may even come up with some different shapes of your own that I haven't shown you just yet.